Hey everybody, it's Tim with Broken Dice bringing you a quick little installment of my solo wargaming project. This is turn 3 between my Greeks and my Persians. We're using the Clash of Empire rules and the armies are at 2,000 points. So a little recap of the position. The picture on the left shows the perspective from the Persian side, and on the picture on the right, the position of the Greeks. In the beginning here on turn 3, we do the command card flip to see which army gets the initiative, and the Persians have won that, and they will prepare to do the movement phase. And like the rest of the turns, I've used a descending order from high to low. As we see here, we've got the ace, the queen, then a 9, 8, 7, 5, 3, and 2. In this situation here, I've noticed that it hasn't created as many problems as I thought it might, but that could be just the law of numbers, where it's just working out that way this time. It would probably take several playthroughs to see what sort of ongoing situations could occur if the higher suited cards were in the rear and more of your lower cards were up front, and then disrupting movement and that sort of thing. But that's digressing into some sort of rules methodology, and I don't want to do that at this point in time. As you can see by some of the little markers like the black arrow and the black shield, the black arrow indicates that movement by the slingers to move forward. The black shield will indicate that the horse archers are going to maintain their position and just shoot at the advancing Greeks. And on the far right, the 2 cavalry units, it shows that they're going to move, but I forgot to take the proper picture. I had changed the mind, and these 2 units here on the right are going to hold their position. Yeah, here we go. Here's the photo showing that I changed that up and put 2 black shields on, indicating that they're going to hold their position and fire on the advancing Greeks. And the reason I do that is because the Persians were known for their archery, and I think in this situation, no one would willingly charge into the front of the phalanx of advancing Greeks, no matter how lightly armored they were. Here in the combat phase, the light cavalry are still slugging it out, and here they both started off with just 2 models left in each unit, and the Persians have managed to kill one of the Greek light cavalry. And that was all there was. There was some minor shooting for the Persians, but nothing significant. No units were broken. Here, though, you can see the levy infantry for the Greeks. They've sustained 6 points of damage, and if you remember, they only had like 1 or 2 points of damage from the previous 2 turns, and so they were able to pass their morale test. And this is the beginning of their turn. So with the red arrow there, we're going to charge these Greek levy infantry into that medium cavalry, because really, with only a minimal number of units in this, a minimal number of models in this unit, taking another concentrated shot from the composite bows and the camel riders, they're just going to wind up breaking just through the fire. So we might as well just get stuck in, and hopefully Greek arms will lend itself to a victory there. And here we see the Greek. So I don't know why half of this picture is blurry and half of it is in focus. It's very bizarre. But you can see here that they've made it into contact. And Well, the best laid plans. Uh, the Greek infantry charged in, were able to do a single wound to the Persians, and the Persians were able to do a couple back, winning the combat. And again, abysmal dice rolling. The two dice here, the dark gray dice at the 11 means that with their morale of 5, they failed it by 6, which means that they are destroyed, dispersed, broken. They're done. they're off the table. Here you can see they're gone. The citizen hoplites here in the middle have taken they've taken 7 damage from these slingers to their front, and because with the phalanx that they can't march while they're in that formation, this is going to be a tough nut for them to weather this sort of storm. If I keep rolling this well for those slingers to do damage to these guys, and this may be over quick, and it's looking pretty bad anyway. And if you notice over here on the far right, there's a single Persian light cavalry, and that is because in the combat they finally killed, in the Greek turn of combat, they killed the last Greek light cavalry. So as bloody as that was, the Persians came out on top, but it's one of those things, combat effectiveness now is negligible at best. So that was kind of a Pyrrhic victory for the Persian light cavalry. And if you notice the command here with the Greek general and his hoplite unit, they declared a charge on the horse archers to their front to try to push them out of the way. They failed the charge, which basically means it becomes a normal move, and that's where they wind up, with the horse archers making their movement. Because they couldn't clear their own archery units with their total move, they had to stop in front of their own unit, and they'll be able to maneuver next turn. It'll just depend on, well, it won't depend, because they can interpenetrate their own units. So even if the Greek cavalry infantry charges them, they should be able to evade and move back through their own archery unit. That brings us to the end of turn 3. Some things happened. It's turning pretty bleak for the Greeks. They've had both of their wings destroyed. They have no light infantry left to their front. Hopefully, before too much can happen, I can get some of these slow-moving phalanx into combat and do some damage. But if not, perhaps there will be a negotiation, and the Persians will just hire them out as Greek mercenaries and put an end to this conflict. But an ending on the left is the perspective of the Persians. Looks pretty good from their point of view, and from the Greek perspective, it doesn't look very good at all. So turn 4 coming up. That should be up this week sometime, and hopefully everyone's staying safe and doing what we need to do to get through all this craziness. And I will see you next time with turn 4.